Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sarah Smith here on the Sarah Speaks podcast, coming to you from the Ōrākei Basin this afternoon on an absolutely stunning Sunday afternoon. And it really feels like summer is on the way. Now I just thought I would do the much anticipated podcast that I've been promising on the controversial topic of feminism. And given that us Kiwis are now living in a feminist utopia, it seems like a very apt time to bring this topic to the fore. Now hopefully our sound will be okay, because it has been a bit windy down here this afternoon, and I have managed to get to a spot where we're sheltered, so hopefully we'll get a good 10 to 15 minutes of good audio and some nice visuals for you to enjoy while I give you my thoughts on feminism. Now, feminism is a very popular ideology these days. You've got the likes of Helen Clark and Jacinda Ardern and Judith Collins running the country more or less in their own way. Obviously Jacinda Ardern is the Prime Minister of New Zealand, and Helen Clark is her mentor, who is a feminist also. And then you've got Judith Collins, the leader of the National Party, the opposing party here in New Zealand, and very much also calls herself a feminist. So that, coupled with Hollywood celebrities also promoting feminism, and the likes of Taylor Swift and other popular singers and actresses, all very much professing their love of feminism. So it's a very unpopular opinion or position to hold these days to be an anti-feminist, which I would put myself in that category. And I wasn't always in that category. I when I was a lefty, would have leaned towards feminist ideology, and I did at one point show interest in joining a feminist group, although I don't think I was hardcore enough to really make it in that group, so it didn't really sit well with me. So that was good that I didn't go too far down that rabbit hole, because I'm sure it would have been hard to get out. But luckily, through sheer miracle, I have managed to snap myself out of the feminist bubble. I've got a couple of little furry friends with me today. Hey pups, come on. I'll just show you. There's one. Where's the other one? And there's the other one. Hello. Come on, let's go. So, yes, I thankfully, in my opinion, now do not hold much value on feminist ideology, and in fact I think it's very dangerous. And I know I'm not going to make many friends saying that, particularly many female friends, because people seem to love the idea of women taking down the patriarchy and women taking power that was somehow taken from them by men. And I would argue that feminism is, like environmentalism, is an ideology that is being pushed on the public by forces and people who would like to control humanity. And I mean, what a genius thing to come up with, really. I mean, push women out into the workforce and you get another 50% of the population paying tax, and push women out into the workforce and they no longer want to take care of the household or their children or even their husbands, heaven forbid. So you've got the breaking up of the family unit, and you've got an added income for the government. So when you've got families breaking down, marriages breaking down, you have more control, basically, because with weak families you get weak communities, and with weak communities you get weak societies, and with a weak society all the individuals are more easily controlled, because people are no longer working as a team. Husbands and wives are no longer working as a team, because wives would much rather be out in the workforce. And I thought this little series that I'll do could be broken up into various aspects of why I believe feminism is a dangerous ideology. And this first aspect that I would like to focus on is the breakdown of the family and the belittling and the demeaning of the female gifts, the gifts that women inherently hold, which is the gift of nurturing and the gift of caring and the gift of life, essentially. Because, I mean, hey, men traditionally couldn't give birth to children. Now, of course, we know that the left-wing nutters are finding a way around that too. But we won't go down there. We won't go down that track today. But my point is that even birthing and raising children has been made out as a burden. Women have been convinced that it's not a noble path, and I would really like to inspire women and encourage women to take up the call, of course where your situation allows. Unfortunately, the economic system isn't really set up these days for single income households. However, at the same time, our wants have gone up. So where a generation ago or 2 generations ago families would have just done with less, they would have only had 1 car if they were lucky, or they certainly wouldn't be going on multiple overseas trips in a year, if any at all. And often they would just make do with what they had and scrimp and save and get by. But now, with our consumerist society, we get raised to think we can have it all and then some. So women, I encourage you to reflect on your lifestyle and what's more important, raising your own children or having stuff, particularly in those early years, you know, especially those first 3 years, if not the first 7 years before they go to school, or even the first 5 years. But those first 7 years are vital. And feminism has absolutely degraded the role of the mother at home. You often hear women say, "Oh, I'm just a mother." Well, given that you're shaping the consciousness of that child, it's no small feat to raise a happy, healthy child. And I really urge women to reconsider what their priorities are. The word serve has become sullied and is no longer seen as honourable. So to serve a family, to serve a husband, to serve children, it's no longer seen as a fulfilling, blessed task. And I would encourage women to reconsider that word serve, because would you rather serve your family, instilling your values into your child and creating lifelong bonds, or would you rather serve an employer who at the end of the day will just replace you at the drop of a hat if you're not doing your job correctly, and doesn't really care about you? Let's be honest. So, who would you rather serve? Your family or a corporate master? That's the question on the table. And servitude and sacrifice are two very honourable qualities, in my opinion. We all have to sacrifice in life, whether you're a man or a woman, a husband, wife, anybody, whatever you choose in life. We can't do it all, and we certainly can't do it all at once. So if you're going to be a mother and work and be a good wife, how can you, in all reality, have enough hours in the day to do all those three things well? So it's not that you can't have it all, it's just that perhaps you can't have it all at once. And unfortunately for us women, we have a biological clock. So that's the one thing that works against us in terms of child rearing. Sorry, there's a car coming. I've got dogs on the loose. Come on, pups. Stay here. Stay here. Good dogs. Come here. Come here. Good dogs. Good dogs. Okay, let's go. So, how can we best make use of our life as a woman? And what we get taught at school is that, well, I certainly was taught that you go to school, you get an education, and in my case, off to university, off to have a career, and there was never any talk. Come on, pups, come on. Baxter, come. There was never any talk. Baxter, come here. Come on. Wait, come here. Come here. Come on. Baxter, come. Come. Baxter, come. Come here. Ah, come here. Come here. Off the road. Come on. Come on. Come here. Good dog. Wait. Good dog. Just waiting while the jet skiers go past. Come on, dogs. Come on. Good boys. Good boys. People have been making the most of the beautiful weather out here on the Iraqi Basin. Right. Good dogs. Come on. Come on. So yes, as I was saying, biologically women don't have time on their side. So we get taught to go to university, go and have an education, you know, and then you might be in your early 20s, 21, 22, and then you want to have a career because you've just invested so much time and money, particularly here in New Zealand. It's not cheap to get a university education anymore. So then you want your career, and you don't really have time to think about what it means to be a good wife or what it means to be a good husband. You don't really know what you're looking for because we don't get taught what makes a good man and a good woman. And then by the time you want to settle down seriously and have children, you might be, gosh, 30, 35. So many women are now leaving childbirth until their mid to late 30s, and by then obviously your fertility rates have gone down. So IVF treatments are on the way up, and often couples are coming together who may not have been a good match, but they just feel the pressure to get on with having a family. So my suggestion is to young girls and to young women is to think about finding a lasting relationship, getting married earlier than what is the average these days. So, you know, maybe in your, I don't know, mid-20s and your early to mid-20s, and start having children by the time you're 25 or 26. Then you've got a chance to have a few, you can raise your children, and then look, who's not to say that you can't go and get a high education in your late 30s and have a career in your 40s and 50s, and you still can be working out in the workforce for 25 years, 25, 30 years. It's just a matter of prioritising which way roundabout you want to do things, and leaving child bearing till later in life is not always easy and leads to a lot of disappointment for many women. So I haven't even got into how relationships are breaking down because of the feminist ideology as such. So I've just touched on how feminism is influencing delayed childbirth at this point. So maybe I'll just leave it there, and we can touch on how feminism is destroying families and how divorce rates are on the rise. We can do that next time. So that's it, and we've walked around the basin, and yeah, I'll just leave it there so I'm not dragging this video out for too long. So those are my thoughts thus far on feminism, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Please you know, share, like and subscribe to the Sarah Speaks YouTube channel, BitChute channel, and you can find me on Twitter at Sarah Speaks. Sarah 1984-9 is my Twitter handle. Okay, and with that, I wish you all a very happy Sunday afternoon. Take care. Bye.